Hey, what is going on, MonkeyPod universe? Greg Jenkins coming to you live from right here inside the MonkeyPod worldwide headquarters in Martinez, California. Now, I got back from the Let's Grow Summit, Keap's annual user conference, on Saturday. Today is Tuesday, so I am just about recovered from that whirlwind of a week. And I wanted to start to serve up some of the takeaways and updates that I had at last week's conference. First of all, overall, it was great. Probably 350 or 400 people were there. And it had a good energy, a good buzz. It reminded me of some of the Keap conferences from 2013, 2014, when we were at the Kierland or the Biltmore, and it felt like a tight community. I think one of the intangible benefits to being a Keap user is the community that surrounds it. This ecosystem is just unlike any of the others I have participated in online or, in person. So I think using this event as a, real world manifestation of that ecosystem is a really big draw for Keap users to come and connect and to learn and to apply those ideas and build momentum that propels them forward. So I say that so that if you are on the fence or were on the fence, you hear, from me what my experience looked like, and maybe we will see you there next year. There were a bunch of updates announced throughout the week with regards to Keap the company and the product itself. But the biggest one for me is that they are formalizing Keap's commitment to the Max Classic edition of the software. So the edition that used to be called Infusionsoft, when they rebranded to Keap, they launched Keap Pro and Keap Max, and the version that was Infusionsoft became the Max Classic edition of Keap. And there was always some kind of tension in the air around the company's attitude towards that product and the company's commitment to maintaining it, supporting it, and developing it moving forward. Now, some of that was resolved when Keap retook the reins of the company as CEO and has made verbal declaration after declaration about the commitment to this product. But I know that as a Max Classic user, it's hard to believe that at face value when you might feel, hey, this other version is getting a lot of the attention. A lot of the resources seem to be going to this thing, and we don't have the same pace of innovation happening in the Max Classic universe. So the announcement that they made last week is one that I am personally pretty excited about. They're going to be tightening the connection between the Pro and Max editions of Keap and the Max Classic edition. And so what that will look like is aesthetic changes, functional changes, and a rebranding. So let me walk through each of those. Aesthetic changes will be they're going to move the Max Classic interface so that it is framed up like Pro and Max with the left-hand expandable menu. So all three editions, Pro, Max, and Max Classic, will have that left-hand interface. So aesthetically, it's going to immediately feel more intuitive, more modern, because it will have some of the lower left-hand icon, the help menu that pops out in. It'll take advantage of some of the interface infrastructure that they have spent years honing for Pro and Max. But it will still have our Max Classic feature set. So it will still have affiliates. It will still have lead scoring. It will still have our e-commerce feature and reports. So if you are a Max Classic user and you know where all of your things are, you will still have those things, but they will be organized slightly differently in a more modern, skin or visual interface. It's frustrating for me personally because I do a lot of training and a lot of my material shows the Max Classic interface, and now it's going to look a little different. But I think it's the right thing for the company in terms of unifying the product lineup by having them visually look and feel more similar. Now, the second layer to this that I called out was technical or functional changes here. So yes, this is going to help them look more similar, but maybe more importantly, it is going to help the development team reduce the amount of duplicative work that they have to do. So now, instead of having to develop something for Pro and Max and then develop the same thing for Max Classic, they're unifying things on the back end that should allow them to be more efficient with their development resources and potentially allow them to move more quickly because they're not having to do certain sets of work twice. I think this type of an integration will also afford us the opportunity to move features more easily between the platforms so that things like the Keap business line can easily be added to the Max Classic interface as well. And I say easily with a big old asterisk because I'm not a developer, so I don't know what it takes, but I know that it opens up that possibility. I haven't heard plans for this on an immediate roadmap, but things like easy automations could potentially also make their way into Max Classic because of this evolution of the back-end infrastructure and the ability to share features. And features might move from Max Classic into Pro and Max as well, depending on how they want to have that tiered structure of the different versions laid out. So all I'm saying is that this is an aesthetic change and a functional change that should only mean good things for almost everyone, except for those of us who have to do a lot of updating to our content in order to have it look and feel like the current edition of Keap Max Classic. Which brings me to the third update, which is that Keap Max Classic is getting a new name. So I know that we might feel like we just got used to saying Max Classic after transitioning away from Infusionsoft, but I also know that Max Classic has always kind of felt like a mouthful, and there is something about the term classic that can make people raise an eyebrow and question the future thinking commitment to that product. So, drum roll please. The edition we formerly have called Keap Max Classic, and before that Infusionsoft, will soon be called Keap Ultimate. So the Keap lineup will be Pro, Max, and Ultimate. Pro and Max are the editions known as Pro and Max today. Ultimate is the premium, most robust, most flexible package that Keap offers, and that is the edition that has historically been known as Max Classic, or before that as Infusionsoft. And they will also be recommitting to this product's role in the marketplace. So I think for the last year or two, Max Classic has been available to customers who need it, but not promoted as part of the official product lineup on the website. It was sort of an off-menu item that salespeople could recommend or partners could sell on a as-needed basis. But moving forward with this reinvestment into Max Classic and the rebrand into Keap Ultimate, it will take its proper place in the three-tiered offering, Pro, Max, and Ultimate, and it might actually already be back on the website. This is some parts of this change they've already done the legwork for and are committing to at a very short timeline. Now, that was the biggest takeaway for Max Classic users, is this verbal commitment to the, not just verbal, but this demonstrated commitment to the future of Max Classic, now known as Keap Ultimate, and the short-term timeline where we will begin to see the availability of that Ultimate interface. My expectation is that it will show up as a toggle for us. So if you're a longtime Max Classic user and your menu comes down from the top, you will see an option to try the Keap Ultimate interface. And you can toggle that on, you can toggle that off, you can play with it and explore it. I have done a bit of testing of this new interface, and I haven't seen any red flags. I reported a few things that could be finessed that I thought were just a little, awkward. Why is this here and not there? Those types of things. But largely, it seems like they've done a really good job anticipating this transition process. They have thought of a lot of things, and in general, I think it's going to be a blanket net gain. It should be a big positive in terms of the adoption of this, in terms of the modernization of the UI, and in terms of making sure that we don't lose access to any of the things that we love, and it lays the framework for, faster and more meaningful innovation moving forward. So stay tuned for that. If you have questions about this, I would love to hear them. I know that this is going to be a staged rollout, so people will have the ability to transition right away, or they can put it off if they're not ready. But I know that at some point, they're going to want everybody to wind up on this new interface. So stay tuned and keep me posted if you have questions, and I'll do the same as I get updates from the mothership. There were a handful of other product features announced last week at the Let's Grow Summit as well, but I will do a separate video bringing us all up to speed on those to make sure that I give them the credit that they need and the explanation that they deserve. That's it, y'all. Take care.